straight up live here. We're looking at this dopey background that I got going here, and I just messed this up. Anyway, whatever. We're live with Nick. I can't believe I just did this. So slight technical difficulties, but I'll fix it. Anyway, there we go. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself?
I would prefer if you do it because I think you do an outstanding job. Well, first of all, you're a recruiter for life, so in the real world, so nobody can pitch somebody better than you can.
Oh my goodness! You know what the funny thing is? I don't think I even clicked done, so I don't think that I didn't even send out the right push notification. Anyway, so they actually don't know that I'm a recruiter. They don't know anything about my personal life.
Oh,
but it's okay. Hey, you know, hey, I'm outed, right? Well, let's go. No, so Nick Leidl.
Leidl is how
Leidl. Leidl, not Leidl, not Leidl, like Chuck Leidl.
It was funny, not like Chuck Leidl, and it was funny yesterday when you met my father. I called him, "Hi, Mr. Leidl." I knew in my head he's like,
fix it again for me. What is it?
So Leidl, like Billy Idol,
like Idol. Oh, that's why it's the Leidl Idols.
Leidl's Idols, yeah.
Leidl's
That's where that came from. So I'll tell you a little story, but we should probably do some intro. And this is Jonathan Justin, brilliant man, newfound friend, such a great guy, and. Don't know who picks his shirts out, but other than that, there's just a lot of potential for absolute greatness. I'm just teasing you, but I did notice your shirt has like daffodils or something on there.
Oh yeah.
Is that a band? Is that what
so I'm wearing this shirt actually because I just bought this today. It's something called an anime.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
That's a cartoon from Japan. So that's a part of the whole this nerd culture thing that I'm going to introduce you to, that you're going to be reacting to, and people are going to love because
we should react to that maybe even tonight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So anime is a movie, or it's like a video game, or it's like a
So it is a genre of like a medium, right? It could be movies, it could be TV. Okay. It's just animation. But it's just the Japanese take it a lot more seriously than we do in America.
So like. Question: is Family Guy anime?
If it was made in Japan, it would be technically anime.
And so, what does the?
Yeah, what's the difference?
There has to be soy sauce on it. I don't know.
In the American context, really, animation's really thought of as mainly for comedy's sake, right? We have Family Guy, we have Simpsons, we have all these kind of silly cartoons, right? King of the Hill. In Japan, they kind of blow it out to everything. All the genres that are in normal film, normal TV, exist within anime. Right? It's just they do it in animation style, right? Which is very stylistic. They just it's hand drawn as cartoons and all that stuff, rather than being with humans, right? And
I'm saying, I just want you to know there's a dumb quality that I know about myself. I'm saying got it, as I realize that I very much don't got it, and think I probably just brain farted there and wasn't really listening. So. Can we take it from the top and you explain it just one last time?
Yeah, no, but I will tell you why I'm wearing this shirt today, and we're gonna because a whole part of the journey together is gonna be you learning about all this stuff. I'm gonna take you to Comic-Con. Okay. I'm gonna take you to video game stores and
That's a thing. There's stores that only sell video games.
Believe me, right in our town, we have one of the most famous classic video game stores right here.
What's a classic video game store?
So a retro video game store is a place
they only sell Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So where you could buy stuff like this, the Nintendo original console, right? Okay. And so I think what is going to what your audience will love is just seeing stuff and what honestly the world will like to see is just seeing a normal human who actually is, who has done a lot in your own right, see what the rest of us were spending our time on while you were busy, getting famous and all that stuff.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be fun because you teach me about things that I didn't even know exist. Like, right. I don't even... Yeah, I had one of those Nintendos, of course. Yeah. Growing up, I had one of those Nintendos, but that's where it stopped. Then I hit maybe like 4th grade, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start reading books or whatever. That's not true at all, by the way. I don't think I've read a book since high school.
Really? You haven't read a book since high school?
Yeah, I need to read more books.
I'm a big book guy.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm a big
That's
book
why
guy.
I enjoy our dialogue together, because I feel like
Yeah.
we are so very different.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't think we're different. I just think you went to LA and
Different paths.
you went to LA and I stayed in Jersey, and so like in Jersey you just sit outside and hang outside it's just basically Clerks. You hang outside and you chat with your friends all the time, and then you go to LA and you like made something of yourself, right?
I know you keep saying that, but you know.
So here's Nick Leidl. I'm gonna keep practicing it. Leidl. I'm gonna keep repeating it to myself because I'm gonna mess it up again.
You got it.
I'm wearing this shirt. It's Cowboy Bebop. It's one of my favorite animes. It's a television show. It's a Western sci-fi kind of show. They actually remade it into a live-action show on Netflix recently with it was originally supposed to be played by Keanu Reeves, but the lead, this character right here, was supposed to be played by Keanu Reeves, but actually it was switched out for the dude from Hail and Kumar.
I just noticed you have really long fingernails.
Not
fingernails.
Finger bits. Yeah,
you
it's
have
like
long fingers.
I have very long fingers.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude.
Yeah.
Can you palm a basketball?
Nearly. Yeah. And that's why I play bass. Like, I'm like all about that. Yeah. I'm like, look at me.
It's mild autism about me that I just constantly observe weird things. Like you're in the middle of a really good story, and I'm like, can you palm a basketball?
This is a dynamic. Right here. We're building, and we're finally live together, which is so exciting. And I haven't been recording, so I'm gonna start that.
You didn't record.
No, don't worry. It's gonna go to the VOD, so don't worry. We'll save. I'll catch whatever was on the VOD and be on here. And anyway, oh my goodness, one of the OG people is in the house. What's going on, Meta? I'm interviewing Nick Leidl, country singer. Meta has been with us from the beginning when we started Twitch. He watched us go from 0 to 100. He's seen all the guys behind here. He knows Gus. He knows the computer that you have, all of that. Like he knows everything. He's been here from the beginning when we first started. We were playing a game called Undertale, and then that was how we started.
How did Captain Fatbelly is one of my pals. Now, how did he know that I was on your page?
Must have started following me after seeing me on your thing. What's going on, Fatbelly?
Right, so that's Captain Fatbelly.
What's going on? Welcome. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I have been, sad and alone, but now I'm not alone anymore because I have country singer, comedian, human, and all-around awesome person, Nick Leidl right here.
Buddy, I appreciate it.
Nick has charted within country music, is managed by one of the biggest comedy managers, the biggest comedy manager in comedy, and has an awesome special that has yet to debut that I'm really excited for. And his music's really great, and I'm really glad that he is like spending time with me. Like, this is really nice. I just asked the world, what's that? The secret? You put something out there into the world. I said, please, I need friends. I don't have friends anymore. And at least I got a friend, and I got a true artist.
You got a friend, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's leave it at that. You got a friend, and then whatever else comes from there is great. And I appreciate you, man. You're trying to expose me to a world that I'm not too familiar with. A lot of the computer stuff, a lot of these sites and stuff like that. I know I sound like that like baseball dad. I'm not familiar, but I truly am not. I don't know these things, and I'm thankful to you that because of you I started a Twitch, and it's been fun, and we have all these ideas as far as what we're gonna do. I do believe that we're gonna really change the game, at least for each other, right? We'll just change our own game, and that's all that matters. And it's just fun. You invite me into your home here, and we're chilling, and I don't know, man. You're just a good dude. I'm really rooting for you. My own father likes John more than me.
Oh, no,
I don't know how this happened.
Oh my God.
My father met John and was like, that guy's got outstanding charisma. I could really see him making it. Okay. I'm like, you've never told me that I'm going to make it.
Right.
But he thinks John's going to make it. So we're trying to work through that. So really, that couch behind us is probably going to wind up as a therapy couch at some point.
Oh, believe me, I read a lot of pop psychology books. A lot of my friends
Pop
call me.
Psychology.
They call me.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah,
Pop psychology.
Yeah, because
dad psychology.
What's that?
Is that what that means? Dad.
No, it's like popular psychology.
Oh, popular.
Like basically psychology books not written for layman's, right?
Uh-huh.
Right, and I read a lot of that. Like that's like even there's like a book over there, like there's a pop, that's a pop philosophy book right there. It's called Obstacle is the Way. I was actually going to lend it to you at some point. This is a great book. It's about stoicism.
It's about stoicism.
Stoicism.
It's something that I know a lot about.
you embody a lot of the qualities of stoicism, but maybe don't realize it.
But don't know what the word is.
What does it mean? That's not what people on Twitch want to see. They want to hear people not talk about.
They want to see video games.
They want to see video games. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I watched one of those hot tub videos last
night.
Oh
my god!
I was like, what is happening here? There was some girl just sitting on a hot dog, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this for like 10 seconds or 30 minutes. And 30 minutes later, I'm like, why am I still watching this girl on a hot dog? And it wasn't even, I don't even know what to make of it.
Right.
Maybe I'm so dead inside that a girl, a half-naked girl on a hot dog doesn't even appeal to me anymore.
Right.
I'm just like, I felt bad for her.
No, I think
I was like, does she need a lifeguard? Why is she in this pool or whatever she's doing?
Why does she need a lifeguard, he says. Oh my goodness.
So strange.
Oh my god. This is what I love, the community that, this very small community that we had, that's really just maintained by Meta being here, that we developed, is that they're not really interested in that sort of thing, and I think people see, and this is why I wanted you on Twitch, because I think Twitch is severely underserved, right?
Yeah, you've said that.
Right? I think I'm gonna be okay, so I'm gonna talk a lot in Joe Rogan terms because right. So I'm the Jamie Vernon to your Joe Rogan, right?
I appreciate
and that's what I want to do, and I want to make you the Joe Rogan of Twitch. That's my goal, right? So that's the idea, because I think that you can bring something here with me that will as your kind of guide through this whole thing, that can really elevate the platform, and the platform needs a lot of elevating, and there's a lot of work to do, and all of it's severely untouched, right?
You and I had a moment the other night in the I guess we were at the parking lot. We were just talking about pursuit in the arts can be very lonely when you do it by yourself.
It is.
It's very, very lonely, and especially, I think, because of the overexposure of social media, you're just constantly seeing what everybody else is doing, and you're constantly reminded that you're not where you want to be, right?
Absolutely.
So what I thought was really genuine about you when you approached me was how you were like, let's do this together. Like, it's just less lonely, and I've mentioned to you in the past, I had a very popular podcast probably about 5 years ago.
You did.
It was the same thing. There was this part of me that even though we were creating art, we were actually making money and all these great things were happening, I found myself actually looking forward to Tuesdays when we would record, because I knew I would have a friend.
Right.
I guarantee a friend was coming to my house, and we were gonna record and we were gonna eat.
Yeah.
And I was like, that somehow meant something to me.
Did you eat on podcast?
No, we would go, we kind of had like a whole thing. We would go get Chinese, and then we would record the podcast. But for that, and half the time our podcast was about what happened at lunch. We would just observe something stupid, and that would be the catalyst to get us talking. And it was, it was kind of fun. And so I do think, I do think that one of the things that I want to try to incorporate into all this, and I think that that's what will make it more fun, is I'm trying, somebody like a Dio has watched me work my tail off for ever long as he's been following.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, but it gets so lonely when you're doing it yourself.
It does.
And you need some kind of community. You have to have it.
Community.
You have to have people that are rooting for you, and you have to have people that, I don't know, that you trust.
You do.
It's very hard to find people that you trust in the entertainment game.
Yeah.
Very hard. It's a very competitive, cutthroat.
I agree.
But when you feel, and that's the beauty of your, I don't know, is the word ambiance, whatever personality, is that you feel very trusting. So, minus that used car salesman jacket that you're wearing, I think there's a really good guy there, and that's what we're gonna really build upon. I'm babbling now.
No, not at all. And it's I think that I might ask things
like Captain Fatbelly. He has this guy named John Pendleton or something. He's this guy who's like, they're buddies, but I'm pretty sure I don't know what the dynamic is, but you'll have to look up this.
Oh, he's got a buddy. Okay.
Well, he's got a buddy, and the buddy is always nude and on OnlyFans. It's one of those internet things that it only makes sense if you see it on the internet.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense at all, but it's hilarious. I'm sure you'll start seeing laughter emojis because I mock this a lot. But anyway.
No, that's great.
Your show, you talk.
No, not at all. No, it's our show, actually. Both.
That's great, but I would. But it's fun for me to watch somebody command, because I'm so used to leading the ship. that it's nice to see you kind of lead it.
No, I'm going to. Yeah, believe me.
I'm so used to being that guy.
I know, the guy that needs to pull, right?
Like I pull, I'm asking questions.
Me.
Even when I do my lives and stuff, it's always like, give me something to work off of. But I find that it gets very tiring.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, like I just want to be able to just hang out, and if somebody enjoys that, great, So
it's okay. So this is what it was like on my show when I was working with Andy and Gus. You haven't met Andy. Andy's the guy who has graciously let me have the computer because he's a very good friend of mine. I mean, but the both of them are not performers, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're not interested in performance. Gus is sort of interested in it, and he likes to do it sometimes when he feels like he's a bohemian kind of guy. And Andy is not really interested in it really at all in that way, and so always, I'm always like trying to steer the ship in a direction. And when we've had guests on with us, I'm like, guys talk, and they're like, we are, John, we're trying, and I'm sure that's what drove them away from me and that's why Gus hasn't picked up any of my calls for the past 2 days, is because I'm annoying and I'm like really aggressive with it, and I just really care about this stuff, and I really want to, I'm obsessed with, kind of putting stuff out there, and I get what it's like to have to keep pulling. I was really curious, and you could always say, like, I'll tell you, and you could tell me whenever we have to just talk about something off air, if it's just like, well, this is weird. What happened to your buddy who you did the show with? Is he off doing another podcast or something like that? Is that I tried looking into him. I've been trying to Google that. I'm pretty good at they call it Google Foo, like your ability with Google. Yeah,
Google Foo means to like essentially stalk.
No, just be a really good researcher on Google. Yeah. That's a part of you mentioned what my job is in real life. I've told people for a long time that I'm a paper salesman at Dunder Mifflin, but which is not true. Which is the plot of The Office. But what happened to Frank? If that's cool, and if it's not, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we could touch it briefly. I mean, sure. I had this podcast called The Unwise Guys, and we were really blowing up in 2016.
Huge, thousands of followers, guys.
And we were
thousands, Unwise Guys.
And what was crazy about it was it wasn't just the fact that we, had like the podcast was going really, really well, but what was interesting was the industry attention that it was getting. Like I think I put out like our second or our third episode, like week 2, week 3, and I get a DM from a rep at Cumulus Radio, and they're like, we saw your
podcast 3.
Podcast. I remember second week, so I had just posted the second week,
and
I get a message from this woman, and she's like, we want to bring you in to test for a radio show, and I was like, wow, nothing. I mean, I've put in years and years of work, and nobody ever reaches out like that. Then. Week 4, I get a message from a talent agent in LA, which already is like wild, like a talent agent sending a DM to a bunch of unknown, guys.
That's cool.
And she's like, I represent Lisa Lampanelli. We want to put Lisa
Holy
Lampanelli
crap, what the heck?
And I was like, Lisa Lampanelli wants to be on our podcast? And then we had, and you may be able to look it up. Oh yeah, we had the greatest.
You had Lisa on.
Greatest thing, man. We had Lisa, we had Tank Sinatra, we had we had 1 or 2 other like pretty good names.
Wow.
And then we never really did the guest thing as much as we should have, because you realize now in hindsight that this whole cross promotion thing is key.
Cross
but
promotion.
At the time,
that's what it is.
At the time, we just sort of really enjoyed the banter of the two of us.
Of course.
But whatever. Anyway, you asked where he went.
There's something to that though too.
So
that's what a lot of comedians are doing right now. Is the 2-person is there like, I'm tired of having guests on because it's really hard. It's hard to have guests on.
Super hard to have
guests
on. And it's annoying. Yes. You're like begging people and you're trying to come up with a time, and then it is annoying. It's a lot of work, right? It's like, as you said, it's a lot of work. And it works if you like have something, right? If you're already like have some momentum, then of course they're going to make the effort to come on your show. But nobody ever has that in the beginning, certainly. So you're just begging. You're constantly begging people. And then, maybe they'll give you 30 minutes, and then you're trying to scramble to figure out how to make a show. And it's super hard.
It's very difficult.
So I think, that's kind of why I shifted away from podcasting and more into just lives and just kind of, basically I made the decision, and I don't know right or wrong, I made the decision that like I should just make myself the product, because it's easier to just promote yourself than it is to have to worry about all these other things. Now, in hindsight, I don't know, or 2020, whatever. I don't know if it was the best decision, but you asked where Frank went, and one of the things that made Frank unbelievably interesting is Frank had a very sketchy past. And,
Okay.
And there was this beautiful one punch, two punch.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of more the straight guy,
Okay.
and he was the the obnoxious, abrasive, knucklehead from Staten Island.
Interesting.
And we had this just
I
really
found
fun
that, okay.
dynamic, but it was a very, it was a very bro-y thing. We were friends. We had known each other for probably at least 10 to 12 years before we did the podcast.
Frat brothers, right?
But we really became friends on the podcast. And people would tell me that one of the most enjoyable things about watching the podcast was you would watch this friendship build.
Yeah.
And I feel like you and I would have the same dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you learn about each other right on the fly.
You do.
He would say something, and I'd be like, "You did that?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And then you did that, and we would just go from there. And so that I thought was really nice. But he just basically he was doing. We've talked about this, is where some people have to do the arts, and then others people
that's
other
like
people
us.
just want to do it.
Yeah,
so he enjoyed it, but like he didn't need this. I need this. I need this.
I need this. That's right. That's a good. That's very well articulated.
So he just kind of said to me, "Listen, I'm getting ready to have children, and I just don't think that I'm going to be able to continue this." We were probably about 45 weeks in. We had really done it very hard. Like we were, an episode every week. We were not techie guys, so we were.
You had a studio?
We kind of had like a makeshift studio, but and this was before anybody was doing video podcasts, so we were only just doing, audio podcasts.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But we had a great
following. Anyway.
We had a great following, and what we had a lot of people that wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned that.
We had photographers, we had like social media editors and all this stuff. So our page looks awesome because we had all this content.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped, right? If you go look at it, it's like 2019 done. Like nothing after that.
2019.
And it might have even been before that. I want to say 2018 we were completely done, and then maybe I tried to hold on a little bit. I would throw up a couple of videos, just stupid things, reruns and stuff. But and it was a good lesson to just kind of show me like what works, and two things work. Okay. I do think that personality, of course, is important, but really what trumps all is just the full immersion. And you've heard me say this many times. Like, if you want these types of shows to catch traction, you have to put full-time energy into something that makes you nothing. Right. And that's a hard thing for most people to grasp. But the people who get YouTube channels off the ground, the people who get their music heard and start to blow up, oftentimes they have what I call this irrational commitment, which is why I named my comedy special that. It's just irrational.
Irrational
it's
like commitment.
This commitment that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Right? What we're doing right now doesn't make sense to them out there. It makes sense to us, but it's irrational, right? It's like how much sacrifice are you willing to do? But if you don't commit irrationally, like nobody. We're way past the years of like things just falling in people's lap. It just doesn't. You have to put the work in. So, we worked so hard, and then what happened is after that, some people had pitched different shows to me, but I would always look at the person who's pitching it to me. That was always what was important, and that's why you stand out above the competition. Is like, I want to see that desire. I'm looking for that person that wants this as bad as I do, because had Frank wanted this as bad as I do, we would be stars. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
Right, of course.
Because we were on the same level as like Fighter and the Kid at that time. They had like 8,000 followers. We had 5,000.
That's wild.
Like, we were right there.
Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub. Shout out.
Yeah, and these guys wound up going on to have this huge money-making thing, and ours just stopped. But we were right there with them. Like, people would message us and be like, "Oh, you want to come play this festival?" It was fascinating, and just all stopped. And and it also taught me like. Barry, who you mentioned earlier, Barry Katz, had said that to me when I told him about Unwise Guys. He didn't know me yet at the time, but after the fact, he said, "Well, your biggest mistake is why didn't you keep going?" He's like, "You should have just."
Is it a mistake?
You should have just ended. You should have kind of like how I don't know if you ever saw Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when there's just a new mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
of course.
He was like, you should have just had a new person and just kept going. And if you lost a few people, you lost a few people. But why would you let the whole thing die? Yeah. And I was like, but. my take on it is because the reason why it worked is because
of the dynamic
of Frank and me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that if I had just found another Goomba, it would have worked. Like there was something beautiful about these two guys who were already friends. They were growing. They had very different lives, and that's kind of where I look at it. So again, I'm all big on just like how bad do people want it.
What's the name of your special again? What was that?
So I shot a comedy special in 2019, right at the end of the year, and that was called Irrational Commitment. And I've never aired it. We were trying to sell it to Netflix at the time, and then COVID created a buyer freeze. And then what happened is once they did the buyer freeze, after the buyer freeze kind of subsided, the whole game changed, and they weren't really buying comedy specials of unknowns anymore. So it was, and I mean I basically have to be self-aware enough to say I'm an unknown. So, I'm kind of sitting on the special, and that's kind of when I shifted into music. But I actually watched the special last night, and I was thinking, I'm like, I was like, I think I got to put this out. It's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't even feel like me anymore. It's almost 2.5, 3 years ago. So, I mean, a lot of the jokes are different. Not one mention of COVID. It's really weird because it was like we shot it right before COVID. So,
I'm sure it'll be an interesting look back, how it might be nice and refreshing to hear something that's not you know what I mean? At a time when we weren't feeling like this, feeling like something was never going to end. Irrational commitment. Thank you for that, Captain. So that's really interesting. And here's the thing: is that Netflix isn't buying a lot of specials, right? And I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, and a lot of the guys put their stuff straight to YouTube. Mark Normand, Schultz, Andrew Schultz, Akash. Outside of that, there's more than just those guys that have done this, but. People who are you call about unknown versus known, whatever. Like that dynamic of are they even talking to Netflix, I guess, and a lot of them aren't, and a lot of them choose not to have their stuff put on there and whatnot because of the limitations, and so I don't think that's I think it's an accomplishment to have done the special. That's getting it done, I think, is a huge thing, and that takes a rational commitment to be able to get to the finish point. Finishing things is a skill. And that's a skill I think you have. Yeah.
Well, and again, I have so much respect for anybody who pursues any art, like any. Honestly, you even touched on a better thing. Just finishing things, just doing things. You'd be surprised, and maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but how many people just talk?
But
they never get the action done. 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, I wrote a song, but the difference is, I found a way to produce the song.
You did.
I don't know how. I don't remember. Even now I think back. I think I went on Craigslist and I was just looking like, I want to make this song.
Right.
I make the song goes to freaking number 20 on the charts. But here's the point. Most people would have never even made the song.
Right.
And then, and I think that this is really good inspiration for anybody. Like, you gotta go for it. Because at this point, talk means nothing. It truly means nothing. I mean, we could have the greatest podcast if we started to do this over and over and all, right? If we just kept doing this every week, we'll most likely keep building. But even if we don't, the one guarantee is if we don't do a podcast, we won't have success. That's the one guarantee. Meaning, if you do nothing, you get nothing. So you have to do something.
Right.
So maybe that's just a frantic mentality, but because how many times do you hear, that band, they don't even sound good. Oh, that guy doesn't even know how to play guitar. I play better. But it doesn't matter.
I hear that a lot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What matters is how hard are you willing to put it out there? Some of the best, most successful artists are the ones who are like delusional and they don't even know that they're not good. And they just put it all out there.
They put it out there. And
the rest of us are all sitting around and say, good enough. I don't know. I mean, I've been sitting on my comedy special for 2.5 years. I won't put it out.
Right.
People asking me all the time, send it to me. Bookers, I don't want to show it. What?
Why?
One thing is if I had put it out, maybe people would have seen it and liked it. Maybe they wouldn't have, but maybe they would. But instead, I didn't put it out, therefore I don't have the reaction. You see what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy.
But
it's such common sense. Well, we can still do it, and we've still talked about maybe now that I know a guy like you can kind of help me get it because I would have just put it on YouTube and then been like, why am I not famous? You know?
Yeah.
But I think there's a little more of a back end to it.
No, it's but I think that's a minimum viable product, which is what I talked about yesterday with you when we were, not live, which I think is also a great way to build a friendship is to talk offline and talk online and all,
Sure.
and have both dynamic. I think I think you learn a lot as an artist, and a performer when you're online, and having the back and forth, as improvisers, as conversationalists, as comedians, as these kinds of things.
Sure.
And then offline, you just learn, become humans, and you're like, oh, hey, man, you met my dad, And there's a couple things that I wanted to touch on there, but there's the art of finishing things. It's something I've read a lot. There's two essays that I've read on it. There's a game developer that I'm a really big fan of. His name's Derek Yu. He made one of my favorite games ever. It's called Spelunky. He's an independent game developer. He just went out on his own. No corporate behind him. No Nintendo. Nothing. And he just went hard. He made a game. He put it out there for free. And then all the companies bought him out. He's on every system now. He's everywhere. And he says, and he writes these essays about just doing the art of making games, right? And which is something that I'm a big thing of. I have a couple games that I've made, and
You have?
yeah, I have. Yeah, that's what I wanted to be before
You programmed video games?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, a couple games that you can play right now. I made COVID the video game where you fight COVID and you go through and you get yeah.
You fight COVID.
You do. You fight COVID using hand sanitizers and face masks, but that's a whole thing. And it's a whole game, and I make a game to make big personal announcements in my life and all that kind of stuff. It's this whole thing. But I follow this guy Derek.
Wait, you made a game which give us a personal announcement.
The world doesn't know, but about certain things about me. I haven't talked about on Twitch yet, but. Yeah, the things about my family, familial announcements, things
So you're having a baby.
If I were to have a baby, and maybe I do have children or something, maybe it's possible.
Well, they don't know.
They don't know yet. They don't know yet.
He doesn't have children.
I know. I have two elderly people that
the ability down there. You
can't. No. Yeah, believe me. No, and my wife has never been on camera, but they've heard her because she has played games with me off camera, where that's just the game on screen. But was it just me with a voice changer? He wrote an essay called just about you may see a bad movie, hear bad music, see bad games, all this stuff. But they have a skill you may not have, which is finishing things, and that's a big thing that he says. And another guy, the guy who created CD Baby, which is the website I was telling you about, where you're familiar with it. Derek Sivers is the creator of CD Baby, and I'm a big fan of his. He also is an essayist guy, and he wrote this essay called "Ideas Are a Multiplier." Ideas are a multiplier, right? Because basically, ideas are a multiplier of whatever action you put in, right? A bad idea the concept goes like this. It's we have an idea for a podcast. We don't do anything, right? It's worth 0 because you times it by 0 equals nothing, right? And then we have a crappy idea for a podcast. We times a bunch of action equals something, right? And that equals times it by 10,000 of 10,000 hours equals $10,000, right? Because ideas are a multiplier. They're worthless on their own, but they are without the action, they're nothing, right? And that's how you create the action is by, if you have a great idea and you put some action into it and then you put that together, you get something great. And even if you have a crappy idea, at least if you do something, just the point is to do something, right? And the guy created a website, used to be a musician and then created a website that put everybody's music out. Now he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And
And to break that down into a micro, I would say that, one thing that I'm proud of, probably one of the most things that I'm proud of about myself is that I'm not afraid to go for things.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of different things and I'm not afraid to go for it. And I think that kind of touches to what you're saying about, ideas versus execution, right?
Ideas versus execution.
I had the idea to make music, but I actually went for it, and then because I actually went for it, the universe kind of rewarded me enough for me to say, oh wow, I should keep doing this. And I feel like I've had a lot of those types of moments in my life, so I'm proud of that part. And that's again, I think that's a great story for CD Baby. That type of thing. Most of the time when you talk about entrepreneurs specifically, I mean, they'll always talk about how many failures they've had, right? And how many things just didn't go, but they had to keep going, right? And of course, what usually doesn't get a lot of media coverage is the guy who never quit, kept creating, kept failing, and then just died of failure.
Yeah, just died
Nobody
of
ever
nothing.
talks about that guy. It's that we always hear about the story of the guy who didn't give up and then he became everything. But I sometimes worry about that poor guy who never quits and never succeeds either.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Agreed. And
You
what
know?
about people who only succeed posthumously and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what about that? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a scary idea. And that's why I felt like, you know, though it's a massive time sink since I went like to working full time, like massive. And like in the past 3 years, you know, I've been working full time, and then I was like, the reason I started working full time is because I had all these friends that were doing all this creative stuff. And I was like, how do you get time to do that? And I was acting, and I was supposed to be the guy putting out all the stuff. I had one commercial to show for it.
Right,
I had
because
to-
you need money. Is that
Right,
where
because
you're
I
going
needed
with this?
money. Because you needed money.
Yeah.
And I needed to survive. I needed food and shelter. And I was not doing well. And it was taking a massive toll on my mental health. Not that I've solved mental health by any extent, but I do believe that having food and shelter really puts you in a lack of a place of desperation. And that's not a great place to do anything from, especially when you suffer from like depression and stuff like that, which is something I struggle with.
I always thought it was fascinating that, you know, there is a direct correlation between people who are drawn to the arts and then depression and anxiety and all that stuff, right? But if you also think about it, it makes perfect sense, because if you're already anxious, you're already stressed, naturally you're going to be drawn to something that, I don't know how to, I mean, I don't know that I'm saying it exactly the way I want, but like, if you feel, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you need validation, right?
Yeah.
Then that's already probably
You're missing
very
something.
like something's missing, right?
Yeah,
and then you go into this thing that's actually more bottomless than anything you could ever touch,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Like being in the entertainment
Yes,
industry is the most bottomless thing.
thing.
Everybody's gonna make you feel like garbage. You'll never be able to trust. You're constantly getting rejected, right? So then, therefore, they say, "Oh, all actors are depressed." Well, I mean, my whole point is that I think that you kind of already have to be a little nutty to want to
Do it to begin with.
you know.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that about myself just
Yeah.
as much as you're admitting it about yourself. And I think that it's true that in order to make something, not even make it, because it is just such a nonsense word. Oh, he made it. It doesn't mean anything. It's all comes down to how you feel. I mean, if we are happy making a podcast every Friday at 8:30 and that works, then we've made it.
I agree. Yeah,
We have
I agree.
made it.
I agree. Yeah. That's
And
100%.
you know, you mentioned Barry earlier, and Barry is, you know, one of the things that Barry's notorious for is his wisdom, and that is he'll say something
What does
like
he
that
say?
till he's
Oh,
blue in the face. He'll
oh,
just
really?
be like, "What does make it mean? Make it means nothing.
Interesting. Really.
You make it. You made millions. You're still stressed. You're still this.
Yeah, right.
Are you happy
Are you
with
happy?
what you're doing?
Right.
Like, does it bring you joy?
Right.
And you know, for me, when I shifted over to music, I found real happiness. I enjoy making music. Somehow, it allows me to funnel internal feelings and internal stresses through my music, and it allows me to you know, make announcements similar to how you were talking about how your games. Like,
Right.
I've literally passed information to my father through my songs.
Right.
Things that I couldn't say to him.
And how
Listen
was
to
that
the song.
received?
I mean, it didn't change anything, but
But
I
did
mean,
he
at
did he
least
hear it? Did he listen?
he heard it, and
Yeah.
I know he had moments.
He had moments.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I had a very sad song that I wrote that actually didn't do as well as I thought it would have, but there was a line in there where the line is
What's the song?
it was about my ex-wife's song called "Second Wave of Pain."
Oh yeah, of course.
And
of course,
the
yeah.
line in there is like basically she runs into me and then it says, "Didn't ask about my dog or mention my dad." And I know when my dad heard that, he was like choked up.
Yeah. I'm
He was
a little choked up.
He was like choked up, like wow, like
yeah.
think about that. You know, he ran into his ex-wife who he hadn't seen in a long time. He felt abandoned, and you know, like it bothered me that she didn't ask about my wife. Or it didn't ask about my dad, but so you see what I mean. But I can't tell. I couldn't tell
I got a
him
little
that
tear.
story. But I couldn't tell him that story.
Oh my god.
I can't be like, "Dad, this is what happened," and this. But the fact that I was able to emote
Yeah.
that through music, you know, is a beautiful thing. And I just think it's very interesting how you mentioned like video game, and that's how you express yourself, and that's fascinating to me. And I mean, I'd like to know how long does it take to program a video game? That sounds.
It could take anywhere from a day to a year. I find that
You could program a video game in a day?
Yeah. We can make one right now. We could make one on stream, you know. Yeah.
You could make a video game.
Yeah, they have all these things out there, these tools, the toolkits and all that
Get
kind
out
of
of
stuff.
town. And what, what is the back end of that? Do you have to buy something?
Yeah. In order to make it in a day, you probably want to buy some stuff, and just a lot of tooling. It's just similar to like we have a TV station. What was I saying to your pops, right? I was like, we have a TV station in here. All you need is an Indian IT guy to set it up, right? And so, which hey.
An Indian guy named Jonathan Justin. Go figure.
That's a weird one, huh? Yeah.
You couldn't have more like the white Dawson's Creek name than Jonathan Justin.
That's my name. That's my name.
Did you not want them to know that?
No. It's I'm honestly at some point all of it's got to come out, and I think that with you,
and it's important that you know that.
Yeah,
it's important you
eventually
acknowledge
it's got to
that
come
now.
out. Yeah, it's all.
Because I tried to do it. I try to do it where like I only expose parts of my life. It's very tough.
Yeah, it's very tough. I think that
you either need to go all in or just say this isn't for me. I don't want to be not like the arts isn't for me, but this idea of like being a public
figure.
You
podcasting.
You need to just kind of.
What are you gonna do?
Just
like right. Especially when you're doing something that's so off the cuff and you want people to relate to you and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let everything just kind of fly out as it's going. Like when I was doing the show before, I didn't, but now that I'm working with you and you're all in and like I'm all in, so it's fine. But I'm still working my job. Hey guys, I'm still working. Okay, I'm gonna be working for the next 10 years. This is a 10-year plan on my end. All right. For him, it's a 1-year plan. It's gonna be done. He's gonna be famous. We're all gonna we'll all be good. But mine's a 10-year plan. And then I'm gonna when I'm 40s, or in my 40s, okay? They know that. You guys know that.
Shout out to my hairdresser, by the way. She's killing it. I can't stop looking at it. I love it.
I know. I was thinking about that just now. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. You do have great.
Whenever I come home to Jersey, I always get. I have a friend here that takes care of me. And I
want her to do my hair. I actually messaged her, but I think I overwhelmed her because I sent an essay about like connecting.
Oh, she forwarded it to me.
Yeah.
She was like, nobody has ever been this nice or formal to me.
Oh, okay.
She's like, people message me like, yo, bitch, I need my hair cut.
You're like,
dearest darling. Like it's funny.
Yeah.
We were laughing about that.
Yeah, I'm a corporate dude.
Offline, we were laughing about that.
Yeah. I just thought it was not received, so I was like, it seemed like the message was not received because I just got a 2-word answer back. So
listen,
I was like,
man, I know that we've had these great conversations about the game-changing abilities. I just hope that my game-changing ability with you will be to give you a little more confidence because I hate when you have these moments of like self-doubt. Why would you self-doubt?
I was like,
sent her a message and you're like, oh, I just thought she doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Why would she want to talk to me?
No, I just thought, because I was like, hey, and then I think these things, and it's just in the nature of my job.
Man. Yeah. Oh, you think it's
the nature of what I do because I'm always like.
You expect prompt answers? Is that?
Yeah, and honestly, it actually probably holds me back in my career, and something I should probably work on because honestly, I need to usually work people for a while before I get them down to being interested in something. That's a whole other thing.
And you're talking about in your work world.
In my work world, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because I'm constantly messaging people. That's my job.
And you must be constantly getting rejected too, right? Yeah. You're using LinkedIn to try to poach people.
Right? What I do is I put a thing out, and then say you rejected me, Nick, I wouldn't have tried to follow up with you again because I don't waste my time with that. I have like a whole lot. In my opinion, it's not actually like you may see it as anxiety thing, and it might be partly. I see it as. Listen, my time is worth a lot, and I took a lot of time to write this message. So to anybody I'm working with, or any person, or even you, when I wrote that message, right? And
You're talking about when you reached out to me about this. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. When I reached out to you about this, when I reach out to anyone about doing anything, when I reach out to someone at work about them coming to work for me or anything like that, I say, if you I'm like, all right, got to move on to the next one because you know what, I have a lot on my plate. Unless I really do need to chase you, right? You know what I mean? Especially with my creative stuff, it's like, you know what? I really do. If you were to say no, I would just be like, hey, I'm just gonna keep doing my bass thing, keep playing my bass, see how this plays out, and keep going with.
But on that same note, how many people like me did you hit up that you thought to do stuff with? Was that like a regular thing?
I like I told you, I mentioned one time to Mark Norman because he said on a podcast. that he reads all his DMs. So I was like, you know what? I threw it out to him. But it was just a little embarrassing to admit that I even tried because it's like I never even met the guy.
Why?
But I was
Why
like,
is it embarrassing?
yeah, I don't know,
It's not embarrassing.
because it's like, you know, it wouldn't have been embarrassing if he responded, right? Then I would have been like, yeah. I was like, hey, I could be your Jamie for getting you guys on Twitch. And
you want my honest opinion?
Go.
Put me on freaking camera saying this. He's an idiot for not responding.
Oh, you think
That's
so?
my take on it.
Yeah, I wanted to get into
Why
this
would
a
he
little bit.
not respond?
Yeah.
You're literally messaging him saying, hey, listen, I'd like to share an idea that I have to benefit you. Why would he not listen to that?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to go to your place and I will set up your studio and
That's
do everything for you. And I'll show up to you and I'll do everything and I won't. I
And
want.
you
I
get-
said I don't want $1.
You get why I have such a bravado response to that, right? Because that's stupid.
And you've met him, right?
I know him very well, but why would you not?
You know him very well.
Why would you
knows
not?
like Norman.
Why would you not? I mean, I don't know him like.
No, but you know him.
We
You know
were
him.
many shows
Yeah.
in back in the day, or
That's
just in the
crazy.
same mics and stuff. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but
No,
but,
it
but what I'm
definitely does.
saying is, he's just like you. He's just like me. He's just
human.
another regular human, unconfident guy. Second guesses his ideas. So I don't know why he wouldn't have answered you.
Yeah.
And you know that's the call out, man.
Yeah, that's
Like,
hilarious. I want a lot of that because that's the stuff I'm gonna clip
it's
and put out there, right? So
listen, you can't get any more. The recipe is there. Like an Indian guy reaches out to you and says, "I have the ability to, help you on the IT side to blow your brand up." Why would you not want to talk to that? Crazy.
Yeah, I know, and
I'm not saying that's the way I interpreted you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm sure you wrote a different message to him than you did to me, in the sense that you were probably even far more detailed. You probably told him, hey, this is what I think I can do, blah, 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 blah.
4 or 5 sentences. I try to be concise. Yeah. Like, I was verbose in my message to your hairstylist, but in general, I could be pretty concise when I need to be, because honest, there's a famous saying that a writer had.
Next time, just write her, yo, bitch. You know what I mean? Because she literally said that to me. She's like, nobody who ever asks me to do their hair is ever nice. They're always just like, I look like shit and I need my hair done. Like, apparently that's how, I don't know, apparently that's how that game works.
That's really rude, and I would hope
Horribly rude.
I hope we could connect her to a lot of people, and that's what I was trying to do with that message, was connect her to a lot of people who are not going to treat her that way.
And that's a really good example. That's a really good example of probably why you and I connected. Because most people are just, they don't see.
Okay, this is good.
They don't see the ability to connect, and they can't envision the beauty of connecting and how that could be something good. And if it's not good, it's okay to admit that it's not good and you just walk away. But there's no harm in meeting somebody, right?
There's
and then
no
again,
harm.
on the Mark Norman thing, it's foolish not to at least entertain to see if there's a way for everybody to win, right?
Right.
And again, shout out to Barry. That's his silly word. Everything is like, it's all about win. We just want to win. We're all trying to win, right?
Okay.
And it's like, but I've taken that mentality for, like, I like that too. I say that to people a lot now too. Like, I just want to see you win. And yeah, I don't feel that about everybody, but when somebody works hard for something, I want to see them win. If somebody has a good, and you remind me a lot of myself with your ability to go for things. You've mentioned video games, I've mentioned music, you mentioned this, I meant this, I've owned businesses, you tried this, you had a freaking commercial that was on the air. I also had one back in the day, and it's like, it's such an accomplishment, man. It's so hard to do.
It is.
To get a freaking commercial is so hard to do.
It took me 5 years.
Yeah,
It took me
so
5 years
hard
to
to
grind.
do.
Yeah. And then I quit after
And
I
you
got
know what
it.
happened to me, man? I think you'll appreciate this. You know what happened to me? I got a commercial like 60 days into acting. 60 days. I got this national FYE. I don't even think they're still in business. There was a company.
No, but I love FYE because they have a lot of shirts like this.
Yeah,
and stuff like
FYE
that.
national commercial. I was the lead guy. It was, it was a little different.
You booked it in LA or here?
I booked it in New York. This is when
New York,
I was living in New Jersey. I don't even know how it happened. One of my comedian friends back in the day, like it wasn't Jim Norton, but it was one of his buddies, sent me to a company called Wilhelmina, I think it was.
Yeah. Right.
They submitted me for this thing, and like the first time, it was like maybe let's say at most it was the third thing that I ever went for. I get money for it. My commercials airing on MTV. It had some connection to do with MTV. So
it aired.
all the time.
All the time.
So
I might have seen it. Yeah.
People would because this was kind of more before like text messages. So people would call me and be like, "Dude, I just saw you on. You were like on an MTV commercial." But that's what I'm saying. But this is the part of the entertainment world that's fascinating, and it's like 60 days in, I get my first commercial. Here I am, years later. I won't even say how many because sometimes I'm embarrassed. Never had one since, right? Yeah. And so it's like,
no, I know.
You gotta celebrate the victories when they're there, and you gotta be able. Like, we are winning. We are winning right now because we are doing what we want to do, and we're able to do it. And it doesn't matter that we're not doing it for millions of people. And as I'm saying this, I'm trying to, and I don't like that this chair is squeaking, but
sorry about that.
No, I just don't want it to pick up in your audio. I think I say it back, one, because I want to educate other people, but two, because I want to believe it myself. I want to believe that as we're sitting here right now, that we are doing something great. That there's a lot of people that would just look at what we're doing and be like, good for you guys, man. Good for freaking you guys that you're sitting down and you're doing it, right? And that's the thing. But like in my previous years, I would have been like, you can't do a show with no backdrop, and you need TV cameras, and you can't.
That's kind of what we talked about.
You can't use webcams. You got to use real. Whatever, 4K Blackmagics, whatever.
Right, red camera, something.
And do I maybe still, in a lot of ways, I do still feel that way?
Yeah, there's something, there's a value to it.
There's something also so beautiful about just somebody who just doesn't care, man.
Yeah,
you hear about these people who just made a record in their basement,
of course.
And the record went huge.
Of course.
It can be done. You don't have to do everything that, you don't have to do everything at some like extraordinary level thinking that that's the only way. There are other ways, and you know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that mentality.
DIY.
I'm a DIY guy because I'm a DIY like scrappy. I'm scrappy, you know what I mean? And I work from scrappiness, and I there's a beauty to it because there's a minimalism approach to it. There's all of that, and I just like it because one of the beauties of the internet is it's about speed, not about like. The one of the crazy things about like SNL versus YouTube skits, right, and why they blow up so much more, and SNL is might be struggling. I don't know. I personally I watch a lot of YouTube skits, and I don't have a television, so I don't get to watch SNL unless they put out the digital shorts, and those are.
And isn't it fascinating how the only way you even hear about SNL skits these days is through
a good YouTube short, right?
Nobody watches it. Nobody stays up.
And so when the Chris Rock Will Smith thing happened, I like all the comedy all the sketch guys that I love to follow hit it fast like this, right away, because they got the camera, they got this, they're just filming with their buddies, they're just like boom, 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 they're putting out stuff already, you know what I mean? And they hit it quick, and so that's why,
and I think I was reading an article maybe I want to say 2-3 weeks ago about how many influencers and like YouTube level people absolutely turned the key with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. Like that was the piece of information. So they basically just jumped into that full on and only made content about that while it was real hot for the whole month, and their numbers blew through the roof, and now they're all like full-time people. I don't know if you saw this, and I encourage you to try to find it on Google. It was a very interesting article. So basically they were saying like people like us, instead of doing like a just a regular talking podcast, they made their whole thing about just that, and all their clips were just that, and all their skits and everything. But there's so many, as you've told me, right, so many times, there's so many people searching for relevant SEO-friendly things, right?
Yes.
So everybody was searching for that. They started showing up, and they started blowing up. And then they figured it out. Well, we better keep doing that, right? So they did one piece of content about Amber Heard, and then it got some likes, and then they just kept doing it, and then they blew up. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's because
it's crazy, but it's not crazy.
It's crazy.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
And so I mean, it's just there's a lot. It's a lot you can learn from, and that's one of you strike me as the type of guy that's a real like information sponge. You like to really learn.
I do,
and that's cool.
I'm obsessed with learning. I'm obsessed because I'm trying to figure this fucking life thing out, which is and it's really difficult. And so like that's why I'm looking at reading all these pop psychology books, pop philosophy books.
But when do you get the time? That's what I ask you. When do you get the time?
A lot of they call it found time, right? When you're driving, you're listening to things. I do an hour. I try to read an hour before bed every night. Yeah, like on the ebooks app on the iPhone. That's been a godsend to me. I try to, and then in these honestly, like the showy books, like I read way more books on my iPhone than I own like this. This is just honestly so I could show people that I read. Like it's just like a stupid like yeah, it's literally because I got a Barnes & Noble gift card and I was like, all right. The truth is that in my like late 20s I became like a self-help book reading monster, and I just started just being like churning, and just started reading some self-help, and then I branched out a little bit, read like one or two fiction books and stuff like that, and I would just hit it, and that's how that game worked. But I wanted to go to your point about celebrating wins. There's a neuroscientist that I listen to very closely. I sent you some of the stuff when you were talking about sleep and how I told you sleep is something that I've thought about a lot because I've read 75% of Dr. Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep. And because it's a very long book, and so I've tried twice to read through it, and so I have 25% left to read. But I've listened to a lot of podcasts on it and stuff by this neuroscientist, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he says one of the big things that we should always do in order to keep motivation rolling is attach celebration to effort. Celebrate effort, don't celebrate your wins. You celebrate your wins. And then when you don't win, you lose the motive. You're basically, he's saying attach your dopamine to stuff like that. What does he mean by that? Celebrate effort. Celebrate the act of doing something rather than the win. If the views.
That comes from it. That's right. Beautiful. I mean, that's a very smart thing. I never really thought about that. Sure.
He says and you really mess yourself up because if you attach yourself if your dopamine level or your happiness or whatever that means, right, is attached to their response, you're in for them. They're in control of the knob of your happiness, instead of you saying, I celebrated you. After we finish this, you say all you have to do. He says all you have to do is like literally say to yourself, oh, that was a good thing that I did this. Actually, what the numbers are not the important thing. I did this. The effort is the important thing. And the more you repeat this up, actually you actually affect like how the chemicals play out in your brain. Like you can control them. Like that's it. And it's proven. He's a Stanford like neuroscientist. It's not like some like in the air kind of idea. It's true. It's real. And that's how a lot of these guys do it. And that's why some of these guys are such workhorses, right? Yeah. Some of the people that are such workhorses in the entertainment industry that are just public that everybody sees, like you see what they do. They like guys like The Rock, like guys that you say that you came up with, guys like Kevin Hart, all them super attached to working out and all that kind of stuff on top, and they're getting up early and they're obsessed with work, and it seems like they never stop.
Right.
Like they're just motors, right? Because they're so attached to the effort piece rather than the reward piece, right? And they're just maybe addicted to it even, which is
really interesting. I'm going to encourage you to remind me of that one.
I'll send you a podcast about it. You could listen to it while you're driving around.
I think that's special because I can tell you, and I've noticed it even more now. I think it's been very reflective of my entire career. Is everything I never reward myself for the effort.
You never.
I always benchmark it by what the response is, and then I'm always disappointed. I mean, I'll work so hard. Let's just say even recently. I'll work so hard to write a song.
Yeah.
So hard. I'll train for hours. I'll work with my trainer. I'll do all kinds of things to really, my music coach and stuff, to make it as amazing as I can. Mm-hmm. And then the minute I drop it, I'm miserable if everybody's not blowing up, if it's not charting, if record labels aren't hitting me up. And I'm like, this is such a horribly unhealthy formula for happiness, right?
Yeah,
and just for happiness.
Right. They're controlling it.
They're controlling it.
They literally control your knob. And you're literally telling yourself that, and the amount of control you have of your body is incredible. Like, incredible. Like, it's literally mindset determines so much of all this, right?
Like, I've never thought to say, you know what, Nick, good for you.
The knob,
for just working so hard.
Good for you.
Never.
And you're a workhorse, dude.
I work unhealthily hard. I don't think that's a word, but I just made it up. But yeah,
you call it a rational commitment, right?
I mean, to my detriment, I work super hard, But the one thing that my problem is I'll only work for things that I believe in, and literally nothing for anything that I don't believe in. So it's like I have this all or nothing approach that also can wind up being very unhealthy. You know, like I'm so full immersion into things that a lot of times I lose touch with reality, or I lose touch with like just healthy things that, you know, like I don't know how to take a break. I don't know how to like say, hey, you know, why don't we keep this so it's still fun? You know, like I think back to like my first song that did the best of all my songs, and I'm like, I think the reason why it might have done so well is because I didn't overthink it. I didn't sit there for hours and hours and hours thinking, do I need to change that word or that change? I just wrote the song, went into the studio, recorded it, and released it. That's it, right? And now here I am 2 years later, cranking out songs, spending months, you know, editing, getting all these, you know, quote unquote experts that have way more skill set than I do, getting them involved, and the result is actually less. It's very interesting to me, you know. It just shows that, like, I really think at the end of the day, just going for it and completing tasks is huge. It sets you apart from so many.
It does. Finishing. It goes back to what we were talking about with those
you know?
two ideas. So.
I mean, you're a finisher too, and I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. You
know?
know?
I'm obsessed.
You reached out to me, but the next day you were doing something. You were remotely, and I'm like, this guy's serious. And that's the word that they throw around a lot. And at least in my world and in my circles, that's the way they say it. Like,
what do they say?
You can just tell he's serious.
You can tell he's serious, because some people aren't, huh?
He's just serious. I mean, you just meet so many people that are just flakes. You know, he's serious. He wants to do something.
So many people. I'd say majority of people are probably
most.
Flakes. Yeah, right.
And it's not just entertainment, but forget it in entertainment. I mean, in entertainment, everybody's.
Who doesn't want to be famous, right? What kind of person does that?
Yeah, and it's like, but it doesn't. That's not. And again, you just realize. What you realize is that. And I'm a friend of mine, and I told you about my other Indian friend who.
Oh yeah, your buddy.
I feel like you guys feel like there's like a cheating. I would never cheat on you. Like there's room in my life for two very distinguished Indians. Yeah. But he always says, Nick, your break is going to come when you stop chasing fame, and you just find happiness in what you're trying to do.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
When I shot Irrational Commitment, he was like. He's like, I know that this is the closest that you've ever gotten to really blowing up. I mean, I had, you know, when I shot Irrational Commitment, just the names that were in the audience watching me, like, there was so many people in that room that could have changed my life that day. But
oh, really?
The fact of the matter is it didn't, right? But I knew as I grabbed the microphone that day that I was catering to those people rather than just saying, fuck this. I'm going to have fun. This is the biggest accomplishment that I've ever done. Yeah. I have a sold out audience. I've never done something like this. I had something like 300 people in the Ice House on an off night. Like, it was a huge accomplishment. But it never was about the effort, right? It was always about the result. And the result was that if this is not on Netflix, then this is a failure. And then I think, and I've applied that so many times, and that's a very unhealthy mindset. So my point is that my friend Neil, he keeps saying that once you get rid of this,
I agree with him.
He loves to throw around this term. He's like, you need to stop chasing fame.
Oh, I would love to meet him.
I don't care about your fame. He said, I'd rather see the Nick that just goes to an open mic and tells his jokes because he actually enjoys doing stand-up. But every time I do stand-up, I'm doing stand-up because I'm like, I need to write for the big show, for this, for that, for my contacts, and I've taken all the fun out of it. Yeah. And so I'm really trying to do a reset, and I hope that you're the little angel that comes into my life and helps me to see the value of just enjoying what we're doing and to kind of do it in more of a comfortable setting. And if it works, it works, but if it doesn't, it's still fun.
It's still fun.
I just want to get away from this mentality of if it works, awesome, and if it doesn't, it was a failure.
Yeah.
Because that's what I struggle with. It was a failure,
To me, it's about the art. It's all about the art now. That's to me. It's about putting out the art. It's about expressing yourself. And that's when you were telling me about your music. I feel the same way about music. I feel like music is the way I best express myself. When you hear my song, when you hear me screaming in my friend's garage, it was in my buddy's Gus's garage that I was screaming, and my voice does blow out, and you can hear it in the song. And I still put it on Spotify because fuck it. And honestly, the guitar work was like nothing I'd ever seen from my buddy. So I was like, you know what? This is going up. I don't care. I perform it live so much better than I perform it on the song, but I didn't care because honestly that song is still pretty good to me, and I put it out, And when I'm screaming, when I let out, and my wife is saying, "Hey, you're waking up all the neighbors," and
well, in fairness,
yeah.
you're always screaming.
Yeah.
I've wanted to stop you at least 10 times in this conversation.
Oh, tell me.
To ask you to stop screaming.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
You're so loud.
I'm so sorry.
You're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
passionate, and it kind of elevates.
Yeah.
So,
I'm waiting to. If it went into the red, then I would have stopped yelling.
I mean, in my head, it's been red the whole time.
Oh my goodness, just lower it. Just so you can lower it.
I
You can lower
tried.
it. Yeah. This is the volume level. Yeah.
I'm so deaf from so many years of DJing. And
No. You don't want your ears to hurt from me. So lower it for sure. I just want it to pick up my voice properly. So
Yeah.
I will I won't lower myself.
I'm only half kidding.
No. But it's a good note. And if we're not on the phone, and honestly, I notice my mom does the same thing when she's on the phone because she works with the elderly, and she talks very loud and used to annoy me all the time. I was like, Mom, why do you talk so loud on the phone? She's like, I work with and then I was like, oh wait, these are all her patients are all old. And so like they can't hear her really, so of course she speaks really loud, right? And so it's like oh, and you're loud, but we're also both very loud people. So and so in my own head, my voice actually I kind of like the sound of my own voice, and then I hear it recorded, and I'm like, I hate that guy.
But you have a good voice, man. You have a good speaking voice. I could see why you do well in the simplest way to put it, in any kind of a sales role, because you have a commanding voice. And I also had a sales background, and you know, essentially what you do is sales, right?
It is sales.
You're selling to people for, you know, for whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away your.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah.
So point being, but yeah, if you didn't have a strong voice, man, it wouldn't. That's the key.
That's the key.
There's something that you do that makes me listen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and I've said this to you in a complimentary way.
Thank you.
Many people have reached out to me, but something you did caught my attention, and then when I got you on the phone, I was blown away by your phone voice, and again, that's not the way I process it, right? Like I wasn't like, oh, phone voice, check, like I'm
it's
in.
A subconscious
but I was like, this guy is just very, he's firm, and you know what's funny is, of course, my benchmarks for affirmation comes from my own father, right? And it's funny how you met my father last night.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we're all going to be a byproduct of our parents,
Sure.
and my father. The things that always admired, the things that he admired became the things that I admired. And he said that about you. He was like, you just have such a charisma and a great voice, and you know, you're very intelligent and self-aware. So I could see all that, you know, and I think you'll have the same journey of just kind of trying to figure out the best way to channel that, to reach the audience that you're trying to find. But I mean, you know, and it sounds like you have a little bit of the same issue that I have, which is, you spread yourself in a lot of different ways, right? Because if you're creating video games and music and this and that, you're just like me, right? I'm doing all these things, and people always tell me, like, man, it's so amazing that you do all these things. And you know what I often say? I say, I kind of wish I could just focus on one thing, because I'd be much better. Yeah,
but you're multi-dimensional, and I feel like the both of us are. And that's the beauty of something like this. I think I completely agree with you on the wanting to be that way, because I think that focus leads to a lot more success in that.
That's what I mean. Like, right? You reach the success.
But you're multi-dimensional, right? And I think that a lot of us are, and not everybody, but I think that a lot of us want. Like, some of us are artists in so many ways, and that's why I think you and I connect so well, is because I'm just this guy who's like, oh man, I love. You know, I want to play the games, I want to make some games, but I really want to act. I really want to do comedy. I really want to perform more than anything. Top thing is perform, right? Then it was to make some stuff, and then it's to do this, and then it's to do that, and it's just, you know, this multifaceted kind of nature, right?
We need to do some offline research to figure out what the books say as to what draws people to the same things that you just said, right? Because I'm the same way. I can't shake this need to perform. I can't shake the need to act, to be the center of attention, to do that. And you obviously, you have the same thing.
I do.
And we've talked about how, you know, and it oftentimes could be detrimental, right? Because you probably have a family upstairs who maybe wishes that you could walk away from all this, right?
Probably,
in fairness,
probably a lot less stress for me. For me.
Sure. I mean, I also, I mean, I don't have a family per se, but I had a failed marriage, and I can tell you right now that a big part of the failure was, you know, her seeing a man that was just so ingrained in what he was trying to do and just couldn't get over the hump. And I think at some point she just realized he's not gonna get over the hump, and we're just not gonna make it because he's not gonna get over the hump. And that's happened to me multiple times, not just with my ex, but in other relationships I've been in where they were like, I think they could see that he's almost got an addiction here. This guy can't not do this.
Yeah.
And there's so many. I mean, listen, it's clear just from talking to you and just from so many of the things that we've discussed. Like, you could do a million things, man. You could go out there and be a very, very successful entrepreneur with your stuff. But that wouldn't satisfy you the way the chase of this type of stuff is. And I'm the exact same person.
Yeah.
And I can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
I oftentimes look in the mirror and I'd be like, if you could just walk away from all this.
Yeah.
And go and sell widgets,
yeah.
And make millions of dollars selling widgets and just be happy knowing that, okay, I've made money, but I don't necessarily have that notoriety that I felt that I need. And I wonder, I guess my point is, where does it come from?
Where does it come from?
Why do we need that? So
I wonder that too.
Because I picked that up from you the minute I met you. I was like, I remember I always talk about the want and the need. I'm like, this guy needs to do this.
I need to perform, yeah. It's a big part of it's a part of me. I need to express myself.
Yeah.
Because I need to be heard.
Right.
And I feel like there's so many ways. When you talked about the song being the way that your pops heard you, there's so many ways. Like, if you listen to my song and if you've ever seen me on stage, the few times that I've been on stage and I'm screaming, like I'm like really playing my music out and I'm like really being, that's me. That's who I am. That's actually who I am more than any of this stuff. If you listen to, like I always say this, if you know the band Slipknot? Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with their songs.
Yeah, well, if you take one of their albums, like there's a couple of their albums, you just take the album, you put that, I was like, that's my heart. That's my heart right there. But like, you just take it, that's me. If you see me on stage, you hear me you hear me screaming along, you hear me yelling, you hear me singing, you hear me do all that stuff. That's me. Yeah. That's who I am.
That's special.
And that's how I have this need to just, and it feels so good when I'm singing, when I get that perfect scream out, which I've practiced like a little bit enough to where it's like it's a little bit of more of an art form than people think it is. But it's so interesting that you talk about the performance. I had a moment with my wife. We were coming home from. You ever been to Mount Fuji?
Yeah,
of course.
Love that place.
They need to put a picture of you up in there.
There was always two Mount Fujis. There's the main Mount Fuji and the knockoff one that went under. I think
it's still there, dude.
No.
Right?
The one on 17? I think it went under.
I used to go there on the weekdays. They have a
great lunch special.
Great lunch special.
You're speaking my language, bro. Cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah, you get there before 4 or 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main Mount Fuji, so much fun.
Yeah,
I grew up like 2 towns over from there, and you got married there?
I wanted to. We were thinking about it. We considered it.
Such a cool place. Yeah. I have some very funny Mount Fuji stories.
Do you?
Can I tell you one?
Yeah, sure.
I feel bad I'm interrupting you because you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was.
Why don't you finish?
What can I do? No, I'm just kidding. No. But there's a quick story actually because I don't have. It's not really much because I haven't really figured out why I'm a performer or why this. But we were driving on the way down. That wind. Out, right?
It's like a real mountain. Just for you guys. It's like a real mountain.
It's a hibachi place on the
It's a hibachi place.
Right?
But you have to go up this like crazy hill and
It's sick. And I was going down, and then this Britney Spears song comes on called Circus. Do you know it?
Yeah.
And in Circus she says the lyric, and my wife goes, "This is you, John. This is you." And she goes, it goes, "Some people are performers, and then some people are the audience." And that's like, she's like, "I'm a performer. This is who I am." And like in the song, she's saying, this is the circus. I'm the performer.
And
the audience.
And you feel the performer, right?
Right. And she said that to me. She's like, "That's you, John. That's you. That's you. Not you, John. That's you, John. Like you. Why are you, John?" There's a whole history behind that. But that's what she said. She said that feeling, and I noticed that in our and actually, she's helped me so much understand that mindset of just being happy with kind of what you have and just normal life and all of that stuff. And I feel like now with art, which is this is probably not good news for you to hear. With art, the most important thing to me is the effort and the expression is the number one, right? And the result is not as important to me. I want to put as much hard work as I can into everything, and I want it to be the best possible product I can. I want it to do as well as it possibly can. But the number one thing to me is the expression, is getting it out there, getting it out, and feeling that feeling of, whew, oh my God, I express myself, and that whole thing. But yeah, Mount Fuji story. You could.
Well, my Mount Fuji story is just a little bit. It's a funny one. I was a big-time tennis player when I was younger, and
you're a sporty guy.
I soccer and tennis were my 2 sports I was very good at.
Okay.
I played Division I in both of them in college.
Holy God! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've
really?
been all over the place, man. But Mount Fuji, there was this friend of mine that played college tennis with me, and I knew him from when I grew up. He's a Filipino guy, but Filipino, but grew up in the United States. Like,
sure,
it was totally from here. It kind of has, he has an Asian Filipino look. And they hired him at Mount Fuji. When he was,
no!
They hired him at Mount Fuji in high school. But this is what he told us on the tennis bus. He told him that when he would valet park the cars, and they told him that when he goes up to the cars, he needs to be more Asian.
Oh my God, they didn't really
like they wanted him to go up and be like, "Hello."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like it's such a lawsuit. Like,
oh my God.
Like they told him to be like, because he's like, the kid had swag. Like he's like a good
all
looking,
American.
Like, cool. I mean, he was like, like he was a smaller guy, but like he was a good-looking guy, gelled his hair, and they were like, no, you have to be more like, hello.
Oh my God, you have to see more like an immigrant. Yeah. Oh my
and
God.
I always thought that was so funny. I don't know. It's not.
No, that is.
It's not the most PC story, but it's like.
No, it is interesting. Will I clip it? I don't know. Will it be out there if people listen to the full thing? Yes. No, that's so interesting that's the expectation when you're there. It's so funny because I took a semester of Japanese. It was a 6-credit course. I see two people are out. Meta and Captain are out. Thank you guys for sticking with us for.
We're probably wrap in a few minutes anyway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, no, we gotta play some video games. Unless do you have to go?
Yeah. If we're gonna play video games, then we should start doing that.
Okay. What's your time schedule so I can make sure that we do it?
Well, I thought we were stopping at 10.
Yeah, we would usually. I probably will get. I probably should stop at 10. I probably should stop at 10. Yeah. We probably should stop at 10.
Well, we could stop this and then just go to video games.
Yeah, we could.
Do you want to make it 2 different clips? Somehow?
Yeah. I'll cut it. But
this guy wants to make me a video game geek. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
you think it's is that like an actual word?
Yeah, video game geek. I guess.
Gamer.
Yeah. I actually don't want to make you a gamer. I want to I want to create hilarity with you, with exposing you a clue like Conan does. But he doesn't get. He's got too much going on. You got. I want to put you in front of it and just be like, what the heck is this? What is this? What is this game? The fact that you told me that you tried playing the games and it didn't work out, and then the people hated it. That's hilarious. That's all very funny.
If you go into my Twitch, you'll see. Well, actually, it won't be recorded here. Mm-hmm. But I pressed the. You know how you set it up to record?
Yeah.
It's there, and it's just nothing but like. Old dad struggling, like, why is the button doesn't go? How do I turn the volume down?
That's what we're gonna cut out.
You think? That's the funny thing?
If I was actually in it, I would probably work on editing it.
I never actually even figured out how to turn the game on.
That's hilarious.
I was just.
That's what I want. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want the struggle. It's the friction. That's what Gus used to say to me. Because I used to struggle a lot with one of the guys that we were with, and I used to be like, no, don't do this, do this. And he's like, it's all about the conflict, John. It's about the conflict. It's about you versus the game versus figuring out how to play the game. It's the conflict. That's the story. That's what television and movies and books are all about, right? It's about the conflict. It's you versus the thing and all the obstacles that you come across.
So
because the obstacle is the way. That's the book title. But yeah, we can wrap up so you can actually. You could hit it and get on with your life.
No, I want to play video games.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's go to game mode.
I loved how excited you got when I validated you.
Right.
We can play video games. Oh, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I can play video games on my own. It's just gonna. You think that it's about me being excited to play video games, but it's really about being excited to watch you, to make fun of you. So.
Watch me.
So let's fix that. Let's change the category to. Oh my God! Are you kidding me? I already bought this game. Why do I have to sign up? Now I'm angry. Final Fantasy 8. This is so weird. This is such a weird, cringy game for you to play. It's got a lot of teen angst in it. It's like Dawson's Creek, basically, as a video. A lot of that. It's just about a guy who loves a girl. That's it. He can't get her. Not registered yet. Guy loves a girl. Look at this, and I didn't test this game out, so it doesn't even have. I can't even access it. See, fail. I'm sorry. I installed it and run it, and this is gaming right now. Can't access my account. Loading. Okay. Great. Right, fail. Okay, so can we play something else at least in the meantime? Yeah, we could do it. We could play something else. Oh God, everything else is going to be way more cringeworthy. But I guess it's about the cringe, and it's about me sitting here with the cringe. Let's do this. How much time do you have? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. All right. So let's put a video game on. Let's play Chrono Trigger. So this is a classic. This is very weird. This is like I can't even tell you what it's how it could relate to you. Like I don't have an analogy that a normal human like a Dawson's Creek to this. There's nothing. This is just as weird as it gets. It's got it's a lot. It's made by the art designer behind it is behind an anime called Dragon Ball Z. Have you ever heard of that? Dragon Ball Z? No, never heard of it. Yeah. He's he texts while we're on stream because we're running over. So it is fair that he's texting during a stream.
Running over.
We are running over, and I probably should.
The fact that I didn't check my phone for 90 minutes is probably the biggest accomplishment of this.
Oh really?
Live feed. Yeah, I have a little bit of an addiction.
Yeah, that's a good book I read. I listened to this one. I didn't read it on the ebook. Dopamine Nation. That's a great book about that. She was featured on the documentary, The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she's in that. She talks about that. So I can't change the category, but I will. Okay, so let's try this stupid game. Which is not stupid. It's one of the greatest video games of all time.
I kind of want to play your game at some point.
Do you want to try? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, no, I'm gonna send you them right after we're done here.
I want to make a video game. We should make a video.
Yeah, we can make a video game while we're while we're on Twitch. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I could hear myself. I don't want to hear that. I got to change the category. That was us just now. I'm managing the stream to change it.
I could not figure out how to stream in the thing last night. By the way, is that in OBS?
What? This thing that I just opened?
You showed me how to like. You remember you set me up with one scene and
two scenes. Yeah. Like, look, this is the interview. Like, we're talking, and then we have the game scene where we're like, hey. Okay. Look, you see the game and
so
this.
So in that scene, I went into the video game, but then how do I get the video game to go into the room of that video game? Does that make sense? Like you told me to find like the red level 2.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption.
Like as opposed to just chatting, right? You told me to find like the category. So
you have to change the category here in OBS. In OBS, and you can change it from your phone in Stream Manager. You just go to Edit in the top of this little pencil, and then you change it here, and then it'll work and then you could change it to like Red Dead Redemption, right? And it'll come up and say Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Right, and that's how it was. And it didn't work for a second when I changed the category here, so I changed it using the PC. But you see the value in having the two screens here, right? Because we have the screen that's showing us what they're seeing, and the chat, and then that it's recording and it's streaming, and we have the game. We have a screen for just the game itself, and that helps, right? Because you see what they're seeing, and so we know what they're seeing, and we have a video game screen, right? So, which is kind of cool. So this is a game called Chrono Trigger. This is very embarrassing. Now this is super cringe because I have literally no place to tell you about this stuff because. You don't strike me as a sci-fi nerd. No. So this is anime. This is what anime is. This is an anime cutscene. In video games, sometimes there's animated cutscenes, like before you play the game, they're just basically mini like shorts, and establishing. So there's this frog guy. There's this girl. It's about people traveling through time. This is so embarrassing. There's this guy. He doesn't talk. He's the silent protagonist. His name's Chrono. Right. This game came out in like 1992. And it was supposed to be one of the greatest games. It's actually rated as. And it's called Chrono Trigger. So you go through all of time. In the game, you go through different time periods. Yeah, that's the deal.
Hey, is the garage open in case I get my phone?
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you have to play this? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, so this is so weird. So this is what anime is, right? And so like.
So why do I enjoy it? Maybe if you tell me why I enjoy it, I'll actually enjoy it.
What is this? What do you mean?
Well, so why is there like this machine like shooting?
This is just trying to get you excited about the gameplay and the game and stuff like that. Right?
So who's this
They're not establishing any of it. They're just be like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Everything is just...
Yeah, it's just like quick cuts and stuff. And we haven't gotten to the gameplay at all. This is just an intro scene.
Which of these characters brings you the most joy?
You know, I honestly don't know this game as well as some people do. It's rated as that's why I didn't want to play it, and I wanted to play the other game, but maybe starting it before going into it. But it's rated as one of the top. But it is made by one of
Are we playing a game or are we watching a movie?
it's a cutscene that when you start playing this is great. When you start playing the game, yeah. So before you start a game, if you ever used to leave your Nintendo on, you notice that like it would just cut to gameplay in the game and it would play itself. If you ever noticed that, if you ever leave your Nintendo on, you just punch out on.
I mean, I get that on the
Yeah, right. So this is very weird. Very much so.
Well, what if someone would have... It just gets... Okay, so now they're in like the Jetsons car. So we're just a dragon that ate somebody.
Right.
Which is very... It's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. It's not just so unique.
And there's nothing, and there's no way I could get you into it. It's like, there's no... with the other game, I was like,
what
this is Dawson's Creek.
What about my personality is showing you that I'm not into it?
First of all, I don't know. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed to have this, for this to be the first game to begin with, that I'm like literally cringing my brains out.
Why are you cringing? I mean, I'm just like...
It's so weird, and you need to like...
But you were so excited watching that. It was obvious.
Oh, it was very... I mean, it's made by one of my favorite like animators of all time. Yeah. So.
Okay, press any key.
Yeah, press any key. Okay, so. Okay,
so
yeah.
Do I get like a handle, or do I get like a little thing?
No, you gotta use the keyboard because I didn't set
There's
up.
only one keyboard for two? What are we dating?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't each get a keyboard?
So this is the game. This is the actual game. Don't look over here, that's us. This is the actual game. See this guy, he's destroying this dragon. Oh wait, no wonder.
Are these the same people that were in the intro?
Okay, so press any key to start.
Okay. Very reluctant.
Okay, now you
apparently not any key because that didn't do anything.
Okay, and then you press a new game.
New game.
Okay.
Enter?
Yeah, enter. Go ahead. Try spacebar.
Spacebar? Do I have to...
Hold on. You clicked out. So don't click at all. No clicking. Don't use just only use the keyboard. Oops. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, sorry. This is such a fail.
Which part?
Okay, so in video games on the PC, a lot of times they instead of using the arrow keys to move around, they moved it to here. W is up, S is down, A is left, and D is right.
That's stupid. Why?
It's so you could use the key. You're not so close to the mouse over here when you're using the mouse. If there was a game where you had to use the mouse, and so you could have access to all these other keys with your right hand. So a lot of times you do that. So you're gonna press. So you could change the name of this guy to whatever you want it to be.
Anything?
Anything. You could do anything. Yeah, just not too crass, so I could actually clip this out.
Chrono?
His name is Chrono. Yeah, that's his name.
Is that a famous name?
The name of the game is Chrono Trigger.
So why would we give him a different name then? Wouldn't be...
Yeah, it wouldn't. But you could. That's the beauty of these kinds of games. You could name them whatever you want. You could leave it all the same. Some people are like, hey, you got to leave it the same. Some people are like, you got to change it. I'm dying of cringe right now.
Well, I mean, just leave Chrono.
Yeah, you do it. Press S.
Oh, S.
Yes, S to go down, and then try enter. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna try
enter. I don't know. M-O-L-D.
Chrono. I would never change your name.
You keep it? You like his name?
I don't think I love it, but I mean, I just wouldn't want to do that to him.
Yeah, you like him enough to...
How do you raise somebody as a Chrono and then just decide that it's now Bill?
Alright, okay, and that's what the developer intended for his name to be Chrono. This game came out on the Super Nintendo, which is the next system after this guy. And they're showing you the overworld right now, the whole map. And there's this great...
I don't know why this reminds me of like Cape Cod.
Yeah, maybe they were inspired by Cape Cod a little bit.
I don't think they were, but I just, for some strange, odd reason, I felt like I was in Cape Cod.
Yeah? I've never been to Cape Cod. I've been to Cape May.
You don't really need to go there. It's not like you're missing anything.
No.
Had that. Let's talk about Chrono.
Okay, so Chrono, so there's a text box that's come up. Press X to go to the next box. Okay, keep pressing it. It's good. It says Chrono, so someone say like Chrono, are you still sleeping? Because it's his mom.
Chrono, are you still? His mom is talking to us.
Yeah.
What? Why is his mom talking?
Yeah, because he lives at home.
Well, that's not surprising.
Mother, come on, sleepyhead. It's time to get up. So he's like saying, get up. All right, you can press X.
So this is Chrono with the crazy Raggedy Ann here?
Yeah. You press X to continue. X to continue. I'll fix this all up for next time so it's not so terrible.
What's his relationship with his mother, would you say?
I actually don't know.
Dear me. I've forgotten how beautiful Leanne Bell sang. What?
Yeah.
Leanne's...
She's looking out the window and she's like hearing somebody named Leanne's Bell. Like, she's reminiscing about something. You can press X to continue.
He's got a lot of books.
Yeah, he does.
Cool, man.
Maybe that's why I like him. Right?
Chrono's well read.
Yeah.
Mother, you must have been so excited about Millennial Fair that you couldn't sleep last night, could you? I tell you, I have a lot of problems sleeping. Millennial Fair has never been one of the ones.
Okay.
Okay. So what do I do now?
You can press X to keep continuing.
Is there a button to like get his mom out of the room?
Yeah, keep going.
You better not let the giddiness get you in trouble. I want you to behave yourself. What is this? This is... People pay for this? Okay.
Yeah, they do.
All right.
They do.
Mother, come on now, out of bed with you.
It takes a lot to make this kind of stuff, to make this all happen on screen. And
no, I'm not discrediting it.
Yeah.
He actually lives in a nice little duplex.
Yeah, right.
Why did a cat just come out of his bed?
Yeah, well, that's some people love their cats, and then so you can control him with these controls, with moving around the WASD.
So where do I want?
You can go wherever you want. You can go around.
So can you go down the steps?
And you analyze something by pressing the X button against it. Right.
Analyze something?
Yeah, you could that's the action button.
Okay, right. So he's analyzing what? I mean, he's just gonna.
Or you could just go down the stairs.
How does he go down the stairs?
You just press D to go down the stairs.
Why would D go down the stairs?
Because D goes right, and that's the stairs are to the right of you.
So now what is the goal here? I mean,
it's something called a role-playing game. So you're actually just experiencing whatever the story is of this game.
I'm experiencing a guy walking out of his bedroom to go down steps with a cat.
Yeah. Hey, you've seen a movie that's opened up that way maybe before?
That's a good point. I have seen movies. It kind of has like his house kind of looks like a secret window. Did you ever see Johnny Depp in Secret Window?
Yes. Yes. Speaking of Johnny Depp.
Oh
my God, I did. I saw it in theaters.
What did I do? I think I just shut
up. There's a new character that's appeared. Her name is Luca. Do you want to keep it or do you want to change it?
She can stay Luca. Well, Luca doesn't really sound like a girl. That's Luca?
Yeah, that's Luca. You can press S to go down to accept.
Okay.
And then you press X to accept.
I sure did.
And then you press up to go to yes. W.
Okay.
To X. That's right, Luca. You're right.
That's right. Oh, the fair, the millennial fair that everybody can't sleep over.
It's like maybe inspired by the World's Fair back in when we invented things.
All right, so how do Mother, run along then and be back before dinner? Well, that's nice. He comes from a healthy family where his mom makes him dinner.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice, actually. You can go out, you can go around, you can talk to your cat, maybe. I don't know. Oh, the cat's just following you, so you just go. And you want to look at the screen because our faces are blocking that part.
Okay. So I want to look at this screen. And
there's a door right there.
Oh, I'm trying to get to the door. Okay. And you said this is the kind of game where I'm just trying to live the experience that he's living?
That's right. And Red Dead Redemption is kind of this. And this is the overworld, right? So now you're like...
Well, this is actually Cape May.
Cape Cod, right. And you could go around anywhere you want. You could, but I think that where they want you to go is probably the fair.
This is the fair?
No, it's the place with all the colors. The balloons and stuff.
Yeah. Well, where would you go if you had a choice?
I always go for I just go straight to the fair. And then you go right a little bit and then go into Leanne Square and press X.
So I'm in Leanne Square, which is cool. Oh look, I'm in the fair.
Yeah.
Are these bad guys now? What are these things coming at me?
That could be. I don't know. Just so you could go around and you could meet people. You could talk to people here. You go up to that guy. You press X next to him and you can talk to him. You can meet him. Make a new friend.
But what?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just meet X? So I don't have to like shoot him or it's not like...
Nope, it's not that kind of game.
Today is 1000th anniversary of our Kingdom's foundation. Enjoy the festivities. I surely would if I were your age. That sounds creepy.
Yeah.
If I was your age. Is his white van with freaking Snickers bars parked behind this little thing?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Today is the one. Oh, I read that already. Okay, so what do I do?
X to continue.
Can I kill this guy? Is there a way to shoot him?
No. In Red Dead Redemption, you can do anything you want, but in this game, no. This is a little bit older than that, so you can just go around. Yeah.
So I go around him, and now what should I?
You can talk to this nice lady sitting at the fountain. Maybe she could become your friend, or this child who's just walking around.
Stay away from children. That just doesn't seem right.
Okay.
I don't want to get a bad reputation.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna go talk to this guy over here, see what he's. This thing is very hard to navigate.
Yes, I'm sorry. And then you're kind of leaning over too. It's very uncomfortable.
Well,
I'll fix it. I'll fix everything for the next time we do this. This is
what's this game called again?
Chrono Trigger.
Right. All right. So you're saying I could just go up to this guy?
Yeah, you could press X.
Press X.
Yeah.
So he's potion panacea.
You could buy potions from him, but you don't need anything. Panacea.
Why would I buy potions from him?
Because eventually you're going to be fighting people, and then you're going to want to recover your health. You can press Z to exit them.
So there is some conflict
fighting
eventually coming.
Yes.
It's not just me shaking hands with the other.
Yeah, they're just trying to set up this kind of like.
Did you say X?
Z to exit. C to exit. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna fix all these controls and get you a controller.
So you're saying I'll have the opportunity to play this on my own computer?
Yeah, sure. If you want to, if you like it.
Is this game popular?
It's rated. It's hailed as one of the best video games of all
I
time.
don't understand why though, because nothing's happening.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Is that you're experiencing it.
But why wouldn't I just go to the actual fair and walk around or something?
Because you're playing video games.
Is this a chick? I'm gonna just like.
Yeah, you could talk to her.
Is she gonna talk back?
You could try. Face her. Make it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're pretty good at this.
I hear Luca and her father have put together another crazy invention. Is that her telling me that?
Yeah.
Okay, then what do I do?
You press X to continue.
I just hope it doesn't blow up again like the last one. It's a typical woman. She's just gonna like project like the potential for disaster. Poor guy. All right. Come on. What's his name?
Chrono.
Chrono. Come on, Chrono. Let's go to your next. Let's find somebody else. Find a more positive woman here. What's this one got to say?
Oh.
The merchant said he'd buy accessories if they're in good condition. Again, it's projecting negativity. Yeah, they're not good condition. They're probably crap. All right, is he gonna say more? X?
Yeah.
Maybe I should sell him this old pendant of mine. But why would she just be telling me this? Like, she's a stranger to me, and I walk up to her and she's like, maybe I should sell this old pendant of mine?
Yeah.
Why would she tell me that?
I know, it's a weird world. Yeah, imagine if people were actually, interacted with you and told you things about themselves when you passed them.
Yeah, it's very autistic. Is he, like, can he rob the pendant now or something?
No, not in this game. In Red Dead Redemption, you can do that kind of stuff.
Alright, so this is a very...
Do you want me to get you to the point, like to something where something happens?
Well, I've been kind of seeking a point.
Yeah. Okay. So you press D. Go up and out. Go up, and try to go up. Try to go up all the way, straight ahead.
Straight ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Just see what happens if you go straight ahead. Just keep going.
All right. So there's more. I don't know what. There's a bell. How did I walk through a bell?
Talk to those guys.
I have to talk to them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be technically above you.
Preparations are still underway. Enjoy yourself in the square for a while and check back a little later. Okay, so they're more of like a off-duty cops
kind of thing. Yeah. They're dressed like it too.
Well, they're not right, and yet you don't really feel their presence. It's kind of like a dumb intro. All right, so I'm just gonna walk.
Go down.
I have to
you
go
can't
down?
go around them. Yeah. Go down.
Why can't I go down?
I think to make something happen, you actually have to talk to this girl who's running around because she's looking for something.
So I gotta talk. Like every time she's. Come on, yo, stop talk to.
There we go. She ran into you.
And that's that. Now I win.
X. Yeah. You made something happen.
Because I headbutted some girl in a freaking field.
Yeah. Well, she walked into you. You saw her. She was kind of frantic.
Ouch, she said.
Yeah.
Do you want to read girl and I'll read?
Sure.
Cronin. What's his name?
Chrono.
Chrono.
Ouch.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
You should be an actor. X.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Uh-oh, my pendant.
Oh, she's got a pendant too.
Alright, and then you can see it. It's right there. Oh, you can't find it, but it's
You can
right
see a
there.
pendant? How do
Yeah,
you see a pendant?
it's up there. It's right over there. It's up to the. It's up
Oh,
to the,
that thing.
Yeah, so walk
Well,
up.
can I go get it and steal
Go
it
get
and
it
just
and-
disappear?
Yeah, if you in Red Dead Redemption, you could do that. Not in this game. In this game, you got
What's that movie where you like, there was like the whole thing, or that video game, the whole thing where like kids were like murdering prostitutes or something?
It's Grand Theft Auto. We'll play it eventually. When
So there's no prostitute that I can murder? or
no,
nothing?
no, it's not that kind of game.
Can I steal his pendant?
Yeah,
X.
you
Oh,
can
I
have
took
it, and then you got to bring it back to her to make something happen. But
That's super lame.
yeah, this is life. This is my life now. So
You just
in
walk.
in my sports coat, going overtime.
Come on, read.
Come on, read. He says. Okay.
Go your
Oh,
roll.
thank goodness, my pendant. I know it doesn't look like much, but it has a lot of sentimental value.
Okay.
May I have it back?
And
You could say what you
yes?
choose. You choose. Actually, I know that you like choice in life. So,
Well, I like choice, but
do you want
I
it?
mean, okay, I'll give her the damn pendant back. I just want her to stop talking.
Okay. You must live in this town I came to see.
Awfully boring wandering around alone. Well, I agree with that. Though, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Hey, why don't we walk around together for a while?
It's up to you.
So we're gonna like hook up, me and this chick?
I don't think so.
That's not how this works.
No. Maybe we could just be friends.
Come on, read.
Yahoo! This will be fun.
It's very subjective. Girl, oh, you're not reading, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never told you my name, did I? It's We can decide her name. Her name's Marie.
Okay.
Marl. Actually.
Marley? Marley, maybe?
Yeah, Marley. It's Marley. Yeah. So you could just, if you want to continue, you can press down the S button. S. I'll get you out of this. Yeah. X. 2. Maybe the game made you do it.
Well,
I'm stuck with this
I'm
screen.
nervous. I just met a girl at the fair, the merchant fair.
Oh my god, did we close that door all the way? I'm worried my cat's gonna get out. It's Marley. Marley. I'm gonna call her Marley.
You're right.
It's Marley. And you're?
You know, I took a few Turkish lessons, and that's how they pronounce the E. So it would.
Oh, really?
It would be Marle.
Marley.
Marle.
Marley.
That's
Okay.
all I know.
Interesting.
10 weeks Turkish.
Really?
I could tell you.
10 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
The whole goal was for me to be able to speak Turkish at my wedding because I married a Turkish girl.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work, and the marriage didn't work either.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
And I guess I probably should have put in the 10 weeks and just saw that as a
Yeah.
reflection.
Maybe we could send this to her.
Yeah, I think she'd be happy to see that I'm really killing it in life now that
Oh
I
my
wasn't playing friggin' Marley and what is it?
Marley and me. Yeah.
Marley and me.
Marley and me over here. Chrono. What a nice name. Nice to meet you, Chrono. Come on. Let's enjoy the fair.
So how many people do you think are playing this game right now?
If we could actually see it on when we go to.
So are we playing this game in Twitch?
It's live on Twitch, and people might be watching.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can I go? I probably got about another minute or so.
Yeah. Just go to the left, and go up to that cat.
You want me to this?
Just go up. You can just hold it, and then you'll keep walking. And go left.
You don't want me to talk this game?
No, I want to try to see if we can actually get to the Oh, there it is. There it is. This is where stuff happens.
This is where stuff happens.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
You just talk to that robot.
But this robot looks threatening, no?
Yeah.
Can you?
They call me Gato. I have metal joints. If you can beat me up, you earn 15 points. All right.
Okay, so how do I fight this guy?
5 minutes. Okay. Sorry, I'm the guy on the phone now.
Say what?
Yeah. So end this. They call me Gato. I have metal joints. You have. Okay, try to fight him. At least I wanted to at least get you to a battle. So press X.
Okay, how do I
So
fight?
you can just talk to him again. go up to him in front of his face again. You have to orient him first of all. Oh, there you go. And you're fighting now. So you could choose attack, technique, or item, whatever you want to choose. Okay, and then you choose the person you want to attack. He punched you in the face repeatedly.
He punched me or I punched him?
He did, and then she did some damage. He's punching you.
Okay, well, why can't I punch him?
Yeah.
How do I punch, dude?
Each person takes a turn. It's a turn-based game, so each person rolls their turn.
When's
like
it my turn?
Now
He's coming at me.
Okay, yeah. Go do attack.
How do I attack?
You go move to
checking. I don't want to attack him.
No, press X on attack and then choose him. Go ahead.
Choose who?
That guy. Like it'll have a finger pointing to the thing. And now
did I just do that, or
yeah,
he hit me?
No, he's punching you in the face.
Why is he?
And so just keep attacking. Go.
Where?
Go, and then choose a technique. Try a technique.
Technique?
Yeah.
How do I press enter?
Oh, dude, there's no techniques. Press C.
C?
Okay, go to attack.
Go to attack.
Attack.
X.
Press it. Go.
This is. Did I win?
You won, but he died in the process.
Who died?
Chrono.
My Chrono.
Yeah.
I'm Chrono.
You're Chrono. But oh no, I have lost. It seems you have won because you had the girl on your side. Here's your 15 points. Wasn't that fun?
Can you make it with a little more excitement? Though I feel like that was kind of.
Yeah, it was. There's a reason I failed at acting.
Well, you phoned it in, and I just feel like you really need to commit.
Yeah. Yeah, I should. Oh no, I have lost, and there's a little musical note there, so I can.
Because I just feel like if I wasn't here, you would read it with that kind of.
Oh yeah, with panache. Okay.
If you put on some stockings and you're like, oh no!
Oh no! I have lost. I have lost, and it seems you have won. Here are your 15 points. Now, wasn't that fun? There we go.
But he's saying that to me, but I'm dead.
Yeah, but you've lost. You lost in that, and you lost all your health. But you're technically you died. But
I lost my health.
Yeah, you have a health bar, and it goes all the way to 0.
Did I see that? Was that?
Yeah, it was on screen. It was just a lot at once.
So so
you'll get really good at this.
It was more of like a slow, cancerous type death. It wasn't really like a one shot and I'm out. Right?
I mean, it was pretty quick. I mean, you did lose pretty quickly to him, but your girl that was on your team beat him anyway.
So what does that mean? So
just press X.
She's just gonna go on without me?
No. You still continue. She might not have any. So you got 15 points. Go into that.
Is there a suicide option so I could just end the game?
Yeah, well, we're gonna end that right now because you probably have to go, right?
Well, so, I mean, I'm just.
Yeah. We should. Let's raid. Really... Let's raid somebody before we leave. Let's
raid.
Yes. So remember you teaching about. I wanted to teach you about raiding.
Okay.
So let's end this and let's raid somebody. Let's see who else is playing. Playing Chrono Trigger right now. And try to raid them. We could go here. And we could go here, or we could just raid one of my friends that's online. Which there are some.
Crowd,
my
cars moving in the background.
Chrono Trigger, and there's 103 viewers. There's a lot of people streaming it.
But what did she do?
And where's us? Where's us? Do you see it? There we are.
Hey, Celeb.
Look at this.
Oh, there's not a lot of people playing though.
Yeah, not too many.
That's actually good.
That's a good. It could be a good thing because there's 70 followers of this game. And so we could choose one of these guys to send it to, or we could send it to these people. Is there a person you want to send out?
I mean, there's nobody jumping off the paper that's more important than
yeah, no.
Chrono.
Okay. Let's see. Let's send it to. Let's raid my DJ friend. And we'll go ahead and do that right now. So the way you raid is you go into, you click your little face in the top right. You go in a browser, and you go to your twitch.tv, then you go to Creator Dashboard. And you usually want to leave this open while you're doing this. You click Manage Stream. And then you'll see a little button on the right here that says Raid Channel. We'll go through this again.
Sure.
We'll raid the channel, and then I'll raid my buddy. It's a Jersey guy, actually. And we'll raid him. And we'll stop the stream after we've raided. Okay, we'll raid him. See, one viewer is ready to raid, and then we raid, right? And then what'll happen is, it'll tell you when you're it'll now hosting the person that you're hosting. You can click their channel, so you can show up there and chat a little bit after you're in, and then we click stop recording and